We're Grayson and Ashley. We've been living on the road for nearly 5 years. We've been to 49 of 50 states, traveled throughout Canada, Baja, Mexico, and have even driven to the Arctic Ocean. Right now, we're on one of our biggest adventures yet, a road trip to the northeasternmost point in North America. We're documenting our life on the road, places we visit, and everything in between. Come along for our full-time adventure.
In this video, we are taking a break from our USA road trip to road trip somewhere we've been dreaming of visiting. Over the next 8 days, we're going to be road tripping through northern Spain. We will be visiting some of the most beautiful landscapes, charming medieval villages, trying some good local food, and hiking some of the most epic hikes in the country. This morning we flew into Barcelona and picked up this van that we're going to be road tripping in for the next 8 days, and we are so excited about this journey. But before leaving the area, we want to explore Barcelona a little bit. Barcelona is the second largest city in Spain, and we planned on having pretty much all day to explore here, but unfortunately some of our flights got pushed back, so we're a little bit later than expected, but we're still excited to see and explore what we can.
Driving here in Barcelona isn't really that bad. The one thing we're having an issue with is finding somewhere to park. We're too tall for garages and too long for the roadside spots, and we're finding a lot of them are either yellow, which is a loading zone, or blue, which is handicap, and we don't fit either of those things. So we're just driving around trying to find somewhere to park. Fingers crossed we can find a spot.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find a place to park, but we were still able to see some of the most iconic spots in Barcelona, like Sagrada Familia, which is a massive Catholic church, but it feels more like a giant piece of art. Gaudi spent over 40 years designing it, and after 140 years of construction, it's still not complete. We were also able to drive by the Barceloneta beach. Before the 1992 Olympics, this whole coastline was pretty much industrial docks. Now, it's one of Europe's most popular city beaches, and I can definitely see why, because it's beautiful.
Yesterday we drove around 2.5 hours from Barcelona, and we stayed at a little rest stop with a bunch of other motorhomes. And it was kind of funny because the motorhomes here look so different than what we're used to back home. But this morning we drove around 30 minutes to a cute little medieval town called Alcácer. It's nestled here on this cliffside, and just from walking in, it looks beautiful and we're excited to explore. Alcácer feels like it's frozen in time. With narrow stone streets and arched passageways, it truly feels like it's straight out of a fairy tale. We're grabbing a little breakfast before we do a little hike in the area, but it's pretty nice because everywhere seems to take cards, so we travel with a travel credit card. We actually had some currency exchange, but I had left it back in the camper van. But we're getting a little breakfast going on here, and this is like a prosciutto sandwich. Then we have a chocolate croissant, and then a ham and cheese croissant. The trail is called Las Pasarelas de Vero. It's a unique trail that features metal catwalks along the canyon walls. Built in the early 2000s, these walkways let you safely explore dramatic cliffs and waterfalls in the Sierra de Guara. With jaw-dropping views over the turquoise Vero River and no technical climbing required, it's an unforgettable adventure that's accessible to almost everyone. So far, Spain has not disappointed us at all. It's been absolutely beautiful, and in between each of these towns, there have been pull-offs where you can get off and see a beautiful view. But we drove around an hour to a town called Ancia. It's a medieval town surrounded by mountains. The most popular thing to do here is probably this historic castle, so that's exactly where we're going to start.
Ancia's massive stone castle dates all the way back to the 11th century, originally built to defend the valley during battles between Christian and Muslim kingdoms. The old town surrounding it is just as beautiful, with perfectly preserved medieval streets, stone archways, and one of the prettiest town squares in all of Spain. Today, it's known for its charm, mountain views, and amazing food. For dinner, we ate at La Carrasca's Tapas right in the old town. Everything was so good. We ordered a Spanish omelet, a few other classic pinchos, and lamb, which was actually really good.
Last night we stayed at a little campground that was around 12 euros. It was super quiet and super cute. But this morning we woke up and drove around 30 minutes to a town called Brodo, where we got some breakfast. We had a ham and cheese croissant, some coffee, as well as a steak empanada, and it was only 10 euros, including a baguette that we actually got for this hike. And so from there, we drove another 15 minutes to Ordesa y Monte Perdido National Park, where we currently are, hiking the Cola de Caballo trail.
This hike is over 7 miles long and has over 3,000 feet of elevation gain, so it is rated as a hard hike, but luckily we were able to fuel up this morning, so we feel prepared and ready to do this hike. But this national park actually is referred to as the Spanish Yosemite, and we love Yosemite, so it makes us that much more excited to explore today.
This park was established all the way back in 1918, making it one of the first national parks in Spain. Monte Perdido, or Lost Mountain, is the third largest peak in the Pyrenees, and the landscape here was shaped by glaciers thousands of years ago. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its huge canyons, dramatic cliffs, and many waterfalls.
Once we got to this section, I was blown away by the mountains, the lush greenery, and all of the waterfalls coming off the mountains. It really felt like one of those places you only see in a dream. That 7.5-mile hike turned into about 12.5 miles. Ultras is usually a little bit off, but this was pretty off, but honestly can't complain at all because the hike was so beautiful, this park is so beautiful, and it did take us about 7.5 hours to do the whole trail, but we did stop a lot, take photos, videos, talked with some people here too, had really good conversation. Highly recommend checking this out if you are in Spain, but we are starving after that hike, so we're gonna go find somewhere to get dinner. We ended the day at Italia Bar restaurant, which was honestly one of the best meals of our whole trip. The vibe here was super cozy. We started with burrata and some chicken poppers, and then we shared the most delicious cod. Everything was packed with flavor. Last night we stayed at a super cute and peaceful little campground. It had lots of amenities, so it was a really good spot to stay for the night. And today we have about a 3-hour drive to the northern coast of Spain. We're heading to San Sebastian and we're really excited for it. But along the way, I'm sure we'll be passing through some awesome little towns and villages, so we'll probably make some stops before we get there. We've got a little bit of a traffic jam this morning.
After quite the drive, we have made it to San Sebastian, which is a coastal town known for having some of the best food in the world, beautiful views, and so much more to do. We're going to be exploring here the rest of the day and into tomorrow morning, because one of the things that we actually want to do is only open on the weekends. We're starting our time here at La Concha Beach. Look how beautiful it is.
La Concha Beach is pretty much the heart of San Sebastian. It's this perfect little bay surrounded by mountains and full of people. While the beach was beautiful, what San Sebastian is really famous for is the food, especially pinchos.
Pinchos are little Basque-style tapas, usually just a couple bites each, and every bar has their own specialties. You basically hop from spot to spot, trying a few at each place, and we kicked off our bar crawl at Bar Sport.
So Bar Sport is the first place that we went to, and as you can tell, it was so busy, so we definitely went to the right spot. Everything was so good, but it was really hard to record in there because we were like bumping into everyone next to us. Not even really sure what we got. We just asked what are the best things, and that's what we got, and we were not disappointed. And now we're heading to get some cheesecake.
La Vina's famous Basque burnt cheesecake was created around 1988 through 1990 by Santiago Riviera right here in San Sebastian. It's baked at high heat for that caramelized, almost burnt top and a creamy crust-free center. People come from all over the world just to try this iconic dessert.
This cheesecake, when you order it, you get 2 slices, and I'm really glad we have 2 slices because it's so good and it is not gonna last long. And I kind of want to go back in there and get more, but it's very busy.
Right from the old town, we took a scenic walk up Monte Urgull, a peaceful hill topped by Castillo de la Mota, also known as Gaztelugatxe. This fortress dates back to the 12th century and was built to protect the city from invasions. From up here, the views over San Sebastian, the bay, and the surrounding mountains are breathtaking. Next up was Ceviche, one of the most famous pincho bars in San Sebastian. They specialize in anchovy dishes, not just plain ones though. Each slice of bread came topped with different sauces and creative flavors, turning anchovies into something way more interesting than we expected.
Personally, we think we saved the best for last, Bar Antonio. This spot is a little more upscale, and with that, it was a bit pricier, but totally worth it. The pinchos were incredible, beautifully plated, and when they brought everything out, they even explained the perfect order to eat it all. Definitely one of the most memorable places we ate on this trip. After a little panderia run, we have made our way up to Monte Igueldo, which is a cliffside amusement park. When we were researching this area, I found this place and I knew we needed to visit here. There is something in particular that I'm super interested to check out, so we're about to head in now. But as you can see behind me, this is the beach area we were at yesterday, and you can see all of San Sebastian. And if you look way out there, that's actually where we were last night. So such beautiful views. It's nice to be able to be on the other side and get the views from this direction as well. Monte Igueldo has been entertaining visitors for over 100 years. At the top, you'll find a vintage amusement park with around 20 old school attractions, including Montaña Souza, the world's oldest steel coaster that's been running since 1928. The views up here are an attraction alone. So this is what I was most excited about. This is like a little water ride. As you can see, these people are about to come around this corner and look at the views.
Today we're going to be heading more west on the northern coast here in Spain, and as we do, we're going to be hitting up spots along the way. Our first one is Fleisch Cliffs, and it's a really well-known spot for the really cool cliff formations overlooking the water, and we're only a few minutes away now.
We drove about an hour away to another beach. This is called Playa de Marola, and this beach looks absolutely beautiful. At the first beach we were at, we didn't put on bathing suits or anything because it was a little bit cold, at least for the beach. It's in like the 60 degrees around that. But with the sun shining and how beautiful it is outside, we decided we're probably gonna go for a dip, but if not, we'll just enjoy the beautiful views and enjoy the beautiful weather.
After a short little walk from where we parked our camper, we made it to a viewpoint where you can overview the beach and the water, and it's absolutely beautiful. And upon arriving here, we're kind of getting the vibe that it's a clothing optional beach because it's about a 50-50 ratio of clothed and not clothed people. So we're not going to be doing much filming when we get down there, just to respect everyone's privacy. So enjoy the view from above, and then we're going to go down and enjoy the beach.
If you've been curious at all how we've been finding our camp spots here, we've been using two main apps. The first one is Park for Night, and the second one is the Road Surfer app, which is the brand of van that we're currently traveling in. They have their own app, which has been super helpful as well. Today we're continuing our way along the coast. We're heading to one more cute little coastal town before we make our way to another national park, and we're just super excited for another day here.
After a short but beautiful hour drive, we have made it to the coastal town we were talking about. This town is called Llanes. It's got beautiful ocean views, as well as a really cool art display that's located on the water as well. Llanes is a super charming coastal town with a cool mix of medieval streets and seaside views. You can check out the old Santa Maria Basilica, stroll along the cliffside Paseo de San Pedro, and spot the colorful Los Cubos de la Memoria. These giant painted cubes make the harbor look like an art gallery. Plus, there are beautiful beaches just a short drive away. So the national park we are visiting is called Picos de Europa. It is the oldest national park here in Spain. Unfortunately, the weather had different plans, but today, the section of the park that we were going to explore was going to be the Los Lagos section, and we're going to hike the Los Lagos Long Trail. And so you'll be able to see both the lakes that are up here. It is the weekend, so unfortunately you cannot drive up here. You have to actually take a bus. The bus is, I think, €9 per person, which isn't too bad. The road's pretty sketchy, so I'm surprised they let buses that large drive up here. Clearly, like I mentioned, the weather is having a little bit different of a plan than we were expecting. So we're actually just gonna walk around and check out what we can, and then hope they let us on a little bit sooner of a bus, because we did book the latest bus to go down. But with this weather, it's kind of hard to see anything really.
We were able to get on an earlier bus, so we've decided to do that because it doesn't look like the fog is going to be clearing up anytime soon. And tomorrow we're going to be heading to a different region of the park, so fingers crossed for better weather. But we're going to head back, get in the van, and then head to camp for the night. We are back in Picos de Europa National Park hiking the Care Trail. This trail is about 7 miles each way, 14 miles round trip, and it has over 3,000 feet of elevation. As you can tell, I'm a little bit out of breath because we have already been on the trail for about a mile now. We do have another foggy day, and it looks like as we go higher in elevation, it could get a little bit worse, but we have seen some patches of blue in the sky, so it might turn out to be a really, really beautiful day.
Walking the Caddis Trail felt like stepping into a whole nother world. I think the fog added to the beauty. With massive cliffs all around and the river rushing below, this used to be a path that locals used to move between villages, so it has a lot of history too. Along the way, we also spotted a ton of mountain goats on this trail, which just added to how incredible this trail was. We have made it to our halfway point, 8 miles in the little town of Cain. It's a beautiful little mountain town surrounded by these beautiful jagged peaks, and some people only hike this trail one way and have a courier bring them back to their car, but that's not the case for us, so we celebrated with a little halfway ice cream, and now we've got an 8-mile hike back to the trailhead. Thankfully, the sun came out to play though.
We've just made it back to the van. That hike was so enjoyable. It was so beautiful the whole time. I love hikes where the whole hike is beautiful and it's not just like the one thing that you're hiking to. And this was definitely one of those hikes, along with seeing all those goats, which was super cool too. But this is the furthest west that we're going to be going on this road trip, and we're actually starting to make our way back to Barcelona, which is where we started off our trip. But we have one more like main stop that we're going to be making, so we're starting to make our way back east now.
After a 2.5-hour drive east last night, we're kind of backtracking to a place called Gaztelugatxe, and there's good reason. It's a magical island chapel that's connected to the mainland by 241 steps and a winding stone bridge. And the reason why we're backtracking to come here is because depending on the time of the year, reservations are needed to come here, and currently reservations are needed on the weekend, and we were first originally planning to be here on a Saturday, but unfortunately couldn't score any reservations. So now we're back here on a Monday, and we're here all alone, which is super nice, and we're making the walk down now.
At the top, there's a small hermitage dedicated to St. John dating back to the 10th century. The views here are stunning. There are 360 views of crashing waves, rugged cliffs, and endless ocean. Fun fact, this spot was used as Dragonstone in Game of Thrones, making it even more legendary. The hike back up was pretty hard. It was super steep and it's not even hot outside, but just with the sun being out and it being a little difficult, we got really hot, but I'm glad we went when we did around 9 a.m. because by the time we were leaving around 10:30, it was getting super busy.
And with that, unfortunately, our time here in Spain is coming to an end. I'm pretty sure you guys probably caught on to the fact that we had such a great time here, but we really feel like we just scratched the surface here. There is so much to be explored here. Maybe we'll just have to ship a rig here. But now we have a 6.5-hour drive back to Barcelona where we picked up the camper van where we need to drop it off in order to get on a flight tomorrow to fly back home. And until next time, Spain.
Yeah, we had such a good time here. We're sad to be leaving, but also looking forward to getting back to our camper and the dogs. So it's kind of a bittersweet feeling, but we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell to be notified when we post next, and we'll see you in the next one.
Until next time.